Welcome to Smart Remarks, where what's going on in Greece really is an outrage! So this being the 4th of July weekend, let's talk a little bit about freedom. I've been watching what's going on in Greece, and what's happening there is pretty much the exact opposite of freedom. In order to bail out the European banks, the Greeks are basically surrendering their sovereignty. Greeks will now live as the EU and their financiers deem prudent, and all of this simply just kicks the can down the road for another 6 months or so. It's a disaster, and it's manifestly unfair to the Greek people. But of course, that assertion gets your conservatives all, wait for it, outraged! Because see, this is the socialists just getting their logical comeuppance. They have to live within their means and take personal responsibility. Forget the nanny state. Basically, any conservative trope that you could trot out here has been trotted out. And so, in the wake of all this, I have a question for American conservatives. What if the United States was Greece? Now, it's kind of a silly question on so many levels. We're not Greece, but in a lot of ways you might say that we resemble Greece. The average per capita debt in Greece is $44,000 per person. Here in the United States, it's $45,000. Our national debt has exploded, and of course the right wants to blame all of this on the welfare state, but it's not as if that's the only thing we spend money on. There was a report this past week stating that the cost of air conditioning at our military bases in Iraq and Afghanistan is $20 billion per year. Is that how a prudent country spends its money? Really? But for a moment, let's forget the why and the how of the debt. Let's simply say that the time has come to pay the piper. The U.S. needs to be bailed out, but in order to get the bailout, we have to sacrifice a few things. Yes, the welfare state would have to be curtailed, and conservatives would cheer! But that's not all we have to do. Like Greece, we would have to hike taxes across the board. Property taxes would go up, value-added taxes would go up, there would be special levies on profitable firms, high-value properties, and people with high incomes. And not only that, imagine that this isn't the result of some domestic consensus, but that it's been imposed from without. The people providing us with the fiscal lifeline are telling us how we will run our country. Would conservatives be outraged about this? I think they would be, because conservatives are under the incorrect impression that austerity is nothing more than another word for budget cuts. But austerity involves so much more than that. It involves tax hikes that are evenly distributed across the board, tax hikes even for the businesses that must grow and provide the jobs and provide the prosperity for all of us so we can get back on track. Even those firms have to endure the tax hikes, because what's happening in Greece is not some simple morality play. Rather, it's the lenders who are saying, you will give us the money that we owe you, we will have our pound of flesh, you will accept our terms, we own you. This is a war between the owners and the owned. It's happening in Greece, it's happening elsewhere in the world. Ultimately, it may happen here in the United States. And so it's pretty imperative for conservatives and everyone to decide, whose side are you on?